The mind is like a mysterious, ever-active ninja within our bodies, stealthily carrying out its mission while we remain clueless about its true nature. It's the powerhouse of intellect, a concoction of thoughts, memories, emotions, and more, all swirling around in a chaotic dance of consciousness. In everyday chatter, we often use mind interchangeably with thoughts. It's that internal dialogue we have with ourselves, where we decide, change, or debate our opinions. It's our own private playground, where no one else can enter without our permission. Our minds are like nomads, constantly wandering from one idea to the next, never settling in one place for too long. But here's the kicker: if we try to hold our minds captive at a certain point, they rebel. They demand movement, progression, because that's their life force. The mind thrives on constant motion, always seeking the next destination without ever truly arriving. It's a perpetual journey from A to B, B to C, and so on. So, next time you catch yourself stuck at a mental crossroads, remember, the mind is a restless traveler, forever in motion. Embrace the chaos, let your thoughts roam free, and revel in the never-ending adventure of your own mind. It's crucial to grasp the distinction between mind and consciousness, so let's make sure we remember the difference. Consciousness is our essence, our soul, our spirit, it's who we are at our core. On the other hand, the mind is like the activity that happens on the canvas of consciousness, kind of like walking. It can be tricky because we tend to view the mind as something solid, but in reality, it's just a process, more like minding than a concrete thing. Just like walking is a function, an activity, so is the mind. If you pause at any point, the mind will start to kick up a fuss. It'll be like, come on, keep moving. It'll try to nudge you in any direction, as long as you're not standing still. We've always been at the mercy of our minds, never really taking charge. We've let the mind call the shots, turning us into its obedient slaves. We've never truly separated ourselves from the mind, we've mistaken it for who we are. But here's the kicker: that idea that you are the mind gives it free rein, letting it run the show without any checks or balances. Sure, the mind might seem like the boss, but it's all smoke and mirrors. Challenge it just once, and you'll see that its so-called mastery is nothing but a facade. So go ahead, take the reins, and show that mind who's really in charge. It's time to break free from the illusion and reclaim your power. The mind is like a sneaky little servant pretending to be the boss, but it's been playing that role for so long that even the real boss starts to believe it. It's all just a big illusion. Flip the script and you'll see that the whole charade was built on shaky ground. Thought is basically your brain's way of making sense of the world and figuring out how to reach your goals. It's like your brain's personal assistant, helping you navigate through life's challenges. Words like cognition, idea, and imagination all play a part in this mental process. It's all about processing information, solving problems, and making decisions. Basically, it's your brain's way of flexing its muscles. Memory is your brain's storage unit, holding on to information for later use. It's like having a mental filing cabinet, keeping track of all the important stuff. Back in the day, memory was a hot topic in philosophy, but now it's all the rage in cognitive psychology. It's even got its own fancy branch of science called cognitive neuroscience, a match made in brainy heaven. Imagination is your brain's way of creating its own little worlds, based on what you've seen and experienced. It's like your brain's personal artist, painting vivid pictures in your mind. Some psychologists like to call it imaging or imagery, to distinguish it from regular old daydreaming. It's all about mental simulation, allowing you to tackle problems and boost your brain power. So go ahead, let your imagination run wild, your brain will thank you for it. Almost everyone has a mind that's as active as an ox in the wild. Trying to tame that mind is like trying to tame the ox. It'll put up a fight at first, but eventually, it'll give in to the pressure. When someone dies naturally, it's neither good nor bad, it's just natural. The body and the five senses, sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell, may fade away, but the essence of the mind lives on. The mind is like a flame that can be transferred from one candle to another, continuing its journey even as the candles burn down. Death is simply the separation of the body and mind. Initially, there may be some emotions and irritation, but by observing this process, one can tap into the limitless potential of the mind. The mind is boundless and can experience the entire universe when not confined by the limitations of the physical body. Before entering a body, the mind is free to roam without restrictions. Once inside a body, the mind's experience of the world is shaped by the senses of that body. A human mind sees the world in color, while a lion's mind sees it in black and white. A bat's mind relies on sound to create a mental picture of the world, as it can't see with its eyes. In essence, The mind is a wild and untamed force that transcends the boundaries of the physical world. It's a colorful, ever-changing entity that adapts to its surroundings, much like an ox in the wild. So let your mind roam free and embrace the limitless possibilities that lie within. When we enter this world, our boundless mind is trapped in a limited liquid prison. How does this happen? Blame it on our misguided sense of self, fueled by ignorance. When our mind leaves one body, it's eager to jump into a new one and keep on living, based on its karma. And hey, that new body might not even be human. Talk about a wild ride. As we're reborn, we start calling ourselves I in English, but even animals have this whole self-concept thing going on. Deer will bolt at the sight of you, they've got their own sense of self and others. Sentient beings, whether human or animal, get all worked up with anger, jealousy, and desires, all to protect this precious self. So, our mind and being are stuck in liquid, aka conception. Then, the body's center starts taking shape in the womb, with all the vital organs and energy channels coming together. It's a delicate process, mess with it, and survival's on the line. It takes 9 months to pop out into the world, then years to grow up, and eventually, we kick the bucket. Life's a slow burn, but death? That sneaks up on us real quick. No time for dilly-dallying, folks. In the midst of all this chaos, it's crucial to keep a cool head. Don't freak out, don't make others freak out. If you're helping someone through their final moments, offer them some positive vibes. After all, we're all just trying to navigate this crazy journey called life.